Well, morning everyone, and it's one of those amazing days where, yep, the sunglasses are out, don't have to wear a hat because it's not so cold. It's frosty, but beautiful day here on the moors in the North Pennines, and I'm just exploring a little bit of a moorland, and there's a forest that I'm going to have a look into and see what I can find. But yes, what an amazing sort of last few days of February this is. And to give you some idea of what it's like, it's quite frosty where the sun hasn't got, but what it's doing, you can see this clearly on here, there's lots and lots of bracken here, and the bracken has obviously got a layer of frost on, and of course that's going to be my first shot. This was the subject, this little fern in here. In the time it's taken me to sort out my GoPro, which has switched itself off again and reset everything, the sun's now moved on it and I've lost the shot, but I did grab a quick shot earlier, so I think I've got it. So I'm going to pop that up as my first shot of the day. Right, so I've spotted this nice little fern. There's loads of frozen ferns all around. I've been walking around for a few minutes now trying to find a composition, and I've got quite a nice one here. One of the issues with shooting these ferns is they're not quite flat, and you're shooting with macro because you're working at a big magnification, is that the depth of field is paper thin. And I do talk, I do mean paper thin. It's thinner than the width of one of these bracken fronds. So the shot I'm going to take is where the bracken comes in from the top and then works its way round sort of diagonally through the frame, and that sort of leaves a sort of quite pleasing layout. And oddly, it's one of those shots that you can then decide on the orientation you want it afterwards, so it can be as a landscape image, or you can turn it vertically to a portrait style image. So it's a quite nice shot, this, and I just absolutely love the crystals that are on these ferns. Are wonderful, but I have to work quite quickly because the sun's moving fairly quickly up now, and I seem to, like the one I was photographing over there, by the time I'd got the camera and everything set up, the sun was on it. So okay, so the other thing I'm going to do with this shot, I'm going to take about 4 or 5 shots, because the fern is not flat, it's got bumps in it. I'm going to take some shots at different places on it, and then I'm going to stack them together so we get a deeper depth of field. Because one of the problems you've got when you're shooting macro is that even at sort of f11, f16, you're talking paper thin when it comes to the depth of field. So anyway, I'm just going to get on with this shot now. Right, so I've had yet another wander about. Got a little bit obsessed with these frost on bracken shots, but I found one here. There's 3 fronds sticking out slightly curved, and they're almost like, for want of a better description, flames of frost. They're absolutely beautiful. You can see each individual crystal. So this is going to be my next shot. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of photo stacking, and I've got the the fronds of this bracken, they're sort of curving across the frame, so they're going diagonally across the frame. So yeah, it's a pleasing composition, is that. So yes, so this is going to be the next one. So I've spotted these wonderful little lichens. They've got a red fruiting body on them, and they really stand out in among this sort of pastel shades of green. There's a mixture of greens here, almost white in some cases, and yeah, I think this will make a pleasing composition. So anyway, this is going to be the next shot. The other thing I'm doing here, I'm stacking the images. Probably take about 6 or 8 images, and possibly more. But because we're shooting, there's a sort of, the depth of field is about that. And if you imagine something that's paper thin, you've got to get enough images to fill front to back in the shot. If you can't do that, or you don't want to do that, then obviously what you have to do then is pick a particular place within the composition where that's going to attract the eye and that's going to make it a pleasing shot. So you know, macro photography isn't always that easy. You know, if you get a really easy subject, then fine, but when you're talking about subjects that have got quite a big depth of field, then it's a bit different. I've had a little bit more search around. I've just spotted this leaf here, and I think it's a bilberry leaf. I think that's what it is. There's quite a bit of bilberry in these woods, so I suspect that's what it is. And it must just be in enough of a sheltered place within this tree, in these tree roots, not to have been killed off by the frost. So it's there almost in its, what you might call its late summer, early autumn colours. And when I look, they're also sprouting a little bit actually. When I look around, there's some more here as well, and then there's some green ones there, so maybe they stay in leaf all winter if they can't, you know, if there's the little microclimate around them allows it. So I hope so. But anyway, this is the next shot, so, and it's just going to be a fairly simple shot. So yeah, this is the shot here. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this because there's quite a bit of sun on it, but what I'm having to do when I take this shot, I'm just going to put my hand over here, make sure that there's no glare gets in on the lens. Polarizing filter, just to take that glare away from the plant itself. And yes, it's slightly backlit, so it should make a pleasing image. Yeah, that's the shot. And the nice thing about this shot is because the leaf's really flat, I don't have to worry about focus stacking or anything like that. Yeah, it's quite easy shot to make this. Well, that's it folks, I'm afraid. It's been a good morning. Really enjoyed photographing those them fronds, them bracken fronds, and the frost and the crystals on that. Really was very enjoyable. I really like those shots, and quite enjoyed photographing the lichens as well. Not lots about at the moment when it comes to macro. There's no plants. With it being winter, there's no plants. There's nothing like that. There's no fungi. But that said, you can always find something. It's always worth going out. Yeah, it's I'm not going to complain today at all. It's been really enjoyable, and the sun's out. It's so warm now. Really, really nice. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.